Good evening and welcome to this fourth session of the City of Bowie Workforce Development and Life Skills Training Program for Spring 2021. This evening, we'll be covering life skills topics of effective communication and relationship building. Then we'll take a 5-minute break, and at 7, we will reconvene to talk about healthcare careers with Kim Rich and Pamela Tolson, who are both registered nurses. And as always, all the program materials will be available on the program website, cityofbowie.org/worktraining. And if you have any questions for me, you can contact me. You all have my phone and my email. With that, I'm going to stop my screen share and turn it over to Rhonda and Simone.
There we go. Good evening, everybody. Thank you. Congratulations on finishing the course. And yeah, thank you for being with us these past 4 weeks. Tonight, we are going to be talking about effective communication and relationship building as it pertains to the workforce. About participation. So one of the things we do here is we practice interview skills. So I want somebody to think about being my partner to practice your interview skills. So don't forget about your aha moment. I hope that you've gotten many in the past 3 weeks and hope you get some more tonight. So effective communication is in your lesson guide. It's this chapter 2, and building relationships is chapter 6. We just combined these two things for tonight. Building relationships, we're going to talk about collaboration, negotiation, and compromise to build and maintain relationships. So effective communication, we will compare informal to formal, identify types of relationships that occur in personal and professional life, explore effective communication skills, how they can help people present themselves positively to others, and apply effective communication skills to speaking and writing. Okay, so your words matter. Why is this true? If it's true to you, why is it true? And is there a situation in which it's not a good idea to share your feelings? So talk to me, use the chat box or just unmute yourselves and talk to me. I can't see you while I'm sharing, so. Your words matter. Is that true, Simone, or not true?
True or false? I think absolutely. Yeah, your words matter. Yeah, it helps us to make people learn a lot by what we say. So what we
have a comment from Lindsay. She says it's also true.
Okay.
Yeah. Does anybody think it's false? It's no right or wrong. Yeah, I think we have a consensus, maybe, Rhonda.
That it's true?
Yeah, that it's true.
Okay. Simone, do you want to share with us why you think it's true? And maybe is there a situation where it's not a good idea to share all of my thoughts?
Oh, we have one comment, sorry, from Lindsay.
Oh, sure.
It depends.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So it depends.
Are we looking at the response? I couldn't see the response.
So this Lindsay said is true, and then Lindsay said it depends.
Ah, yeah.
So which part depends, Lindsay? I'd like to know that it's true or false, or that it depends on other situations where it's not a good idea to share my thoughts.
And I've allowed you to talk, so you can unmute.
Oh, okay. Hi.
I say it depends because I actually like to use I like to communicate, but it actually depends because some people might take your words wrong or something like that, you know. I say that's why it depends.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Can I say this, Rhonda? I think that
yes, please.
when it comes to communication, sometimes we send a message and the message that we send may not be received in the way we think we're sending it, right? So sometimes our intentions are misunderstood, or the body language is misread, or people make certain assumptions before we even open our mouths. So sometimes we send a message and the message we send is not the same as the message received, right? So
Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay. Yes. And Lindsay said that we might get misunderstood. And I think that's what I hear you saying as well. Simone might say something to me, but there's a filter in which I receive her words, and that filter is varied, has a lot of variations in there. It could be my upbringing, my culture, my gender, all of those things, my job, my age, all of those things are filters by which I receive a message. So indeed, Lindsay, I do agree with you that we can be misunderstood. And there's a lot of reasons why. And I think when it comes to communication, one of the ways that I probably am most misunderstood is when I send a text. So I have to be very careful in my written communications, which I think you can't hear my tone in a text, right? You can't see if I'm smiling or not, because it all makes a difference. So we just need to be careful, just to be aware that those things make a difference in our communication.
Our text messages can take on a whole body language in and of itself. The tone, the way we even space out letters, and the older generation probably puts a lot more on text messages than the younger generation. And sometimes we assume that saying less is being clearer, and we can say less and get just as misunderstood as if it's a lot more. So it's interesting how communication happens.
Yeah.
One maxim I think about a lot is the medium is the message, like the method that you choose to communicate, phone call, email, text message, and the way that you use those methods can also communicate something about how you feel about the relationship or how you feel about the person you're talking to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so in this particular lesson, we're going to talk about two types of communication, formal and informal. And so formal communication is the exchange between people in a setting where there's likely to be a hierarchy to the relationship. So supervisor, employee, that's a hierarchy. That's what that word means. And then informal communication is exchange of information between people who are likely more familiar with each other, peers, friends, and such. Can you tell me, okay, you guys tell me, in these 5 relationships, would you use formal, informal, or both? And I'd like to hear from you. So if you think it's both, please tell me and tell me why. You can use the chat box. You can unmute yourself and talk to us.
When communicating with a parent, is that formal or informal or both?
Lindsay says formal.
Okay. Anyone else? And you please put your answer in the chat box. Anyone
Anthony
else?
also votes formal for parental communication.
Okay. So parents can be formal. Does everyone agree with that? Okay. So I would choose both for my parent, because, I'm a grown adult, right? And me and my mother speak much more informally than I did when I was a toddler. So and yet I still understand that that's my mom I'm talking to. So I think it can be both. And I choose that for my children as well, because they're all grown out there, married, have kids. And so they understand they're talking to a parent, but yet it's not that formal. So that's why I say both for a parent. Okay. So your supervisor, would that be a formal or an informal?
Or both?
Or both. And you can use your chat box.
Okay. Looks like we have formal, both.
Okay.
I know the supervisor really well. Another formal.
Sure. Okay, because that supervisor might be my friend, right? Formal unless it's outside of work. Very good. Yeah, great. Thanks, guys. Your partner. So business or personal. So it'd be formal, informal, or both for your partner.
Someone saying both. Informal.
Okay.
Hey, Lindsay.
Okay.
Both from Anthony.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And your teacher, formal, informal, or both? What do you guys think? So Lindsay, you're saying both for teacher or for partner?
Both for teacher and partner.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it depends on the teacher.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you. Okay. Thank you guys for participating. Oh, gosh. All right. Let me quit distracting myself with what's going on in the chat box. All right. Effective communication. That's your activity book, page 9. Oh, this is the formal meaning of effective communication. It's a respectful exchange of thoughts and feelings and beliefs between a speaker and a listener in such a way that the listener interprets the message in the same way the speaker intended it. For this to happen, verbal and nonverbal messages need to match. Okay, so earlier we talked about how we can be misunderstood in our communication, but effective communication means that Simone should not misinterpret what I'm about to say. And again, okay. So, and that it said my verbal and my nonverbal need to match themselves. So I'm just going to use the example as if I was sitting in an interview and I need my formal and my verbal and my nonverbal to match. So if I'm sitting in an interview and they're like, why do you want to work here? And I'm just like, I just really need a job. So my nonverbal communication, the way I sat in my chair, did not convey to the person I'm speaking to that I really want this job. So I can answer the same question by, why do you want to work here? When I can just say, I just move in a little bit, say, I've just been really looking for a job for a while now, and this is a field I want to work in. And I saw your advertisement, so I thought I would apply. So could I be misunderstood, Simone, if I really want that job?
I think you're pretty clear.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So that's just to match my verbal and my nonverbal, right? My nonverbal communication, which is my body language. I think that posture is important because if I'm slouching, I don't know if you guys experience this in your classroom when you're slouching, teachers kind of don't take that seriously, like you don't really want to be here. And maybe that is what you're conveying with your body language. If Simone's talking to me and I'm looking at her and I'm nodding my head, I'm letting her know that I'm listening to her. I'm making eye contact. And again, eye contact for me is the best of your ability. Not everybody, not every culture, not every ability or disability conveys eye contact the same way. So for me and Simone, if we're talking to each other, we're making eye contact, that's good. If I'm talking to my nephew who's autistic, I do not expect him to hold eye contact with me. That makes him very nervous, and even more so with strangers. So his teachers, he's definitely not going to hold eye contact. So I think that it's important to know these things about the person you're talking to or talking with. I know the old language was that eye contact is a sign of respect and that you need to show that. Then I've learned otherwise. So I think we need to be very careful when we talk about eye contact. I think it's okay to make eye contact. It's okay to say, my nephew has had to tell people especially online, that that's very uncomfortable for him and he won't be looking into the camera. So that's okay too. So just be mindful of your nonverbal communication. Eye rolls are usually not a good sign. Even if I'm on mute, when I'm rolling my eyes, you pretty much know what my message is to you. So that's that. So active listening, repeating phrases, asking clarifying questions, nodding your head again for passive listening, saying, okay, or I understand, I hear you. If I need a clarifying question, I will actually say, I just want to be clear what I heard you say. Did you say that you do want me to come in at 5 or you don't need me till 6? Let's just clarify. And so it's better to say that than like, well, what did you mean? Did you mean 5 or 6? Because you said both. So I'm asking the same questions, but in 2 different ways. And I'm just respectfully, I need to clarify what I've heard you say. And you can use that in all areas of your life, not just at work, but I use it with my partner. I use it with my doctor. I just used it the other day. I'm like, well, let me clarify what I hear you say. This is what we're doing. And then he was like, that's not what I said. So it's just a really good exchange to effective communication. Okay, so speaking for understanding, the formal interview. So, okay. And you can answer me in the chat box, but how many of you have been on a formal interview for employment or college? I guess they do formal interviews for college. So if you've been on a formal interview, yes or no? I want to know.
Anthony says that he has.
Okay.
And he has also.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Lindsay also.
Okay. Well, good. Were you nervous? Was that a nerve-wracking experience for you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And when we're nervous, like that can show up, right? For me, when I am nervous, my mouth gets dry, and then that sets me off my game. I just say that my mouth is dry. It's almost all I can think about is that my mouth is dry. So when we're nervous, it's okay to say, I'm a little nervous here, right? And I haven't had very many interviews, but I am nervous. Everyone understands that you're nervous in an interview. I did an interview when I got this particular position at the city, and that was 5 years ago, with people I've worked with for 15 years, and I was still nervous because I just felt like I had to remember every good thing about me, every accomplishment I had, and it's just nerve-wracking. So it's not something I want to do often. And it's okay, especially for young people, to go in there and say, I'm nervous. We understand you're nervous, and we're okay with that. I do think that practicing interview skills helps you be less nervous, right? Because it helps, you're prepared. And the more prepared we are, the better things go for us. And Simone said in week 1 that chance favors the prepared.
The prepared.
And, right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So in an interview, you come prepared, you practice your skills with someone else. We're going to go over some common interview questions. You can ask a friend to practice with you, ask a teacher, a parent, anyone, ask someone you work with, ask your, boss or your supervisor, for feedback on your interview skills. But I think it's very important when you go into interview, you want to get a job, you want to make the best impression that you can.
Sometimes, if I may say,
Mhm.
when you're a little bit nervous, there's some what ifs that kind of come into your mind.
Mm.
You know, what if I have to explain the past year and it wasn't a good year? What if I forget to mention such and such? What if I don't speak loud enough? If I stutter? So if you have some what ifs that kind of come up for you, if you can identify those when you're practicing, you can kind of hone in on those what ifs
Mhm.
and work through the things that you're concerned about. Because sometimes our anxiety will give us a good indication of where we might have some particular weaknesses or concerns. So it's very natural, and it can be very informative and help us strengthen our skills.
Wow, very nice. Thank you, Simone.
Sure.
I appreciate that. Okay, before I move on to the next slide, who would like to be my partner in this interview? And not Simone and not Kay. So who'd like to practice their interview skills? So I'll interview you. I'll ask you a few common questions, and then I'll just give you some feedback. Any brave souls
There we
want
go.
to practice their interview skills?
Raise your hand.
Who?
I think someone did. I thought I saw a hand up.
Okay.
Lindsay, she's on.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Lindsay.
So these are the questions?
Yeah, don't look at the questions, Lindsay. Look at me. You and I are going to have this conversation. Let me back it out so you don't get distracted. And I just want you to answer some common questions for me. All right.
Mhm.
Just like you were walking into an interview. So I got to find my notes. All right. So Lindsay, thank you for being here today. Thank you for coming into this interview. Lindsay, let's pretend like, do you work now, Lindsay?
No.
Okay. Have you had a job in the past?
Yeah.
Where at?
Multiple places, McDonald's, Sephora,
Okay.
on the border.
Okay. I just wanted to see what you're familiar with. So let's just pretend like you're applying at Chick-fil-A, because who doesn't want to work there? Okay. So thank you for being here today, Lindsay. Tell me why you are interested in this job.
I'm interested in this job because I already have a record of working in a fast food area, and I think I can work in a fast pace.
Oh, good. Thank you. So you mentioned your experience. What specifically do you think experience you've had that would help you in this job?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Sure. Yeah. What experience in fast food specifically? What experiences do you think could help you with this job?
Working on the table, like in the kitchen, cash register, drive-through, and
good.
communicating with customers.
Great. Thank you. So tell me, Lindsay, how do you successfully handle stressful situations at job?
If it's something that I can't handle, I'll get the manager into it. How do I would try and calm the customer down, and see what's the issue. But if they, sometimes customers don't want to listen to you because you aren't a manager. So I'll just get the manager into it.
Oh, great. Thank you. And what would be your ideal work schedule and why?
Monday through Friday, 9 morning shifts.
Okay. All right. And
you said why?
Skills? Yeah, I said, yeah. Why would that be your best shift?
Because I like to wake up early, and I think I do stuff better in the morning, to be honest.
Okay, great. Thank you. And what skills do you think you could contribute to our team?
My communication skills and my fast pace.
Okay, love it. Great, thank you. Those are all my questions. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. Lindsay, you did a really good job. I would definitely hire you. So,
I love,
especially for somebody who wasn't able to be prepared to come tonight.
Yeah.
For an interview, you did really well.
right off the bat. Yeah, I
Thank
love
you.
she asked you that clarifying question in the very
Yes.
beginning. Did you hear that one?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Can you repeat yourself
Mm-hmm.
correctly? Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for playing along. I appreciate it. Also, so those were my questions. So one of the things I think young people get asked that question, you know, what's your best schedule and why, is because you can also say there that, you know, first of all, Lindsay, I loved your answer. Like, who doesn't want the go-getter in the morning? And I think that's one of the hard shifts to fill in food service, because especially with young people. So good job on that. But you can also say, you know, if you do have a second job or you are in college or school, everyone understands that. So if you need to work, you know, the weekend shift because you're in school, then just say that. And he didn't ask you why you might have left your other jobs. One person I asked said their answer was because they got fired. That does not have to be your answer. That might be the truth, but that doesn't have to be your answer. So that might be a situation where all things that you think don't need to be said. Just say that your schedules didn't meet or it just didn't work out. That's all. You just don't have to give out too much information about yourself. So just think about that as well. But good job, Lindsay, and thank you for being with us. Okay, so writing, effective written communication skills, just as important, because your resume is a written resume, whether it is filled out online or it's a paper resume that you upload and send in, is very important. It's still my first look at you. If your grammar isn't good in that resume, I'm going to notice these things, because let's say I get 100 applications and I only have one position to fill. Every little thing is going to like go to the wayside. Like, oh no, can't put together a proper sentence. No, thank you. So that's very important in your resume. Another thing about effective communication and writing is your email address. Make it a professional one. I tell everybody this story. It's a true story. My son was graduating from high school and putting out all those applications to college and jobs, and his email address was skippythesqueeze@gmail. And I was like, yeah, that's not, I'm telling you, people, pay attention to your email address. It's very simple to just say Rhonda.Simon@Yahoo, at AOL, at Gmail, whatever. Just use your name, but use something. It doesn't have to be your name if you don't want it to, but I'm just saying, if it's, something like Skippy the Squeeze, you might want to think about making it more professional. Okay. So writing a proper email, right? So you've been on the job interview and you want to say, back in the day, we used to send handwritten thank you letters or notes that said, thank you for interviewing me. I really appreciated the opportunity and I look forward to hearing from you again. So you can do the same thing today in an email, or you might need an email for a reference or a recommendation. A reference or recommendation letter. And I think the exercise in our book is actually writing an email to a teacher for a letter of recommendation. Mm-hmm. Just salutation, dear, good morning, like dear Miss Simon, good morning, Miss Simon, just something like that. Make sure your grammar and punctuation are on point. Convey a positive tone. I really appreciated you seeing me yesterday. I look forward to hearing from you again. Organize your message well, review and revise, and verify your written message is appropriate to the relationship. Don't use spell check always. You want to it's fine for when I write an email. I know spell check is happening automatically, but I never send an email without rereading it and correcting myself, because a lot of, like the word for, I must have misspelled it once, FIR, and it always comes out that way. So I always have to check. So that's important that you're, don't leave that for the machine always. Oh gosh. Okay. That is, go ahead, Simone.
Yeah, I think it helps too. You may want to wait before you, when you're drafting an email, to be sure to not put the person's name in right away until you finish drafting it and check it. Because so often you can accidentally hit that send button and you're like, oh my God, that's not the one I wanted to send yet. Just a simple thing like that. And I can't, the rewrite is so important, having somebody else take a look at what you're sending, especially when something important like a job is on the line.
Yeah. That's a really good point, Simone. I learned that as well. Don't put the name in the send address until I've written it and then read it and rewritten it if I need to, because nothing worse than writing a scary first draft and saying all the things I want to say, because that's how I get it out of my head. And then if I sent that, that would be bad. So I always need to go back and look. So I like that tip. Thank you very much. All right. So that is the communication, effective communication, writing and verbals. Simone, did you have anything you wanted to add to that before I move on to?
Yeah, I just want to say something about communication. I think we focus a lot about sending the message, but part of communication is receiving the message too. So if you can be a good listener in a world where people, cut folks off or are thinking about the answer before they even in the communication process, being able to listen is a skill that's really undervalued. So things like you said, body language and things like that, those same things apply on the other end as a listener. Making sure you're clarifying and just letting people know that you hear them. We live in a world where people are often misunderstood and not heard. So if you can be the kind of person that hears other folks, that's a wonderful skill to have, and a wonderful, any kind of team would want good listeners on the team.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I sometimes think as fast as I talk. That's not a good thing. Or I listen as fast as I talk. So as Simone's speaking, I might be already thinking about what, like completing her sentence, or what is she going to say? I already know this, or I'm listening to answer. But good listeners just listen. And there's nothing wrong with a pause, right? We talked about pausing earlier when you're making decisions. And I've been in many meetings with Simone, and Simone is one person who's not afraid of the silence in a pause. And she's been a really good example of that for me. And so I've started practicing it as well, because in my mind, the pause is very long, but in reality, even a 10-second pause before speaking gives my brain a chance to catch up, slow down, stay in the conversation, and think about what I'm going to say next, instead of just thinking while she's talking. So I'm really can be paying attention, and that is active listening. So thank you for sharing that, Simone. I appreciate that.
Yeah, being a good listener. And it's sometimes really hard in the virtual world to actually do the pause. If you pause virtually, people want to rush in right away and fill the space. The space seems, a pause seems a lot longer even than in real life. And there's some cultures who do a wonderful job of appreciating a pause and giving people time to think about and hear each other. So I think we could do a lot better in our society with that one.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that input. Okay. If you guys have any questions for us, please put them in the chat box or unmute yourself and talk back to us. I'll pause before I move on to the next lesson. Okay. I just wanted to pause extra long, see who gets uncomfortable with it. Me, I get uncomfortable with it. And you're right, like 10 seconds feels like forever. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about building relationships. And again, mostly this concentrates on your work-life relationship. But as we were going over this lesson, Simone and I were talking about how much we're going to throw around these words: collaborating, negotiating, and compromising, which we do a lot when we work with teams on our job. But you also have had experience with these terms as well. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So just like communication, we have a variety of relationships that are both formal and informal. And all healthy relationships rely on trust, honesty, safety, accountability, and respect to keep them strong. On my job, I'm known for doing what I say I'm going to do. And everybody's like, if Rhonda says she's going to be there, she's going to be there. I appreciate that reputation, and I hold it on to it very strongly. So that trust and honesty, and it's important to me that it goes both ways, right? I want you to know that if I say I'm going to do something for you, I'm going to follow through and come through for you. So that is very important, just to build that reputation on the job. We are going to talk about using the skills of collaborating, negotiating, and compromising to resolve disagreements in a positive manner that will help you build healthy and productive relationships throughout your life. Let's talk about collaborating. So it involves people coordinating their skills and efforts and knowledge in order to reach a common end. So the steps are: we're agreeing on an end target, right? We're all decided we're going to accomplish this task, and we're going to do it by this date and time. And Simone's going to do this part, I'm going to do this part, and Kay's going to do that part, and Jesse's going to do that part. So like everybody's agreed per individual strengths to determine who's going to do what, and then we can come back together. And I rely on my partners in that project to come back and do their part and get the job done. So collaborating. And if somebody asks me to do a job that I don't think is in my strength or wheelhouse, it's okay to back up, right? Evaluate the plan. Is it realistic? And I can back up and say, I don't think that I would fit best there. Like, I'll say one of my weaknesses is written editing, right? So I can put my ideas out there, and I have other people on my team who literally come behind me and edit my writing, and I appreciate that. And so Tia knows that that's her strength, and I know that my strength is spitting out the ideas. So whatever your strength is, be okay to say, that's not my strength, but this is my strength, and can we renegotiate? So that's an important key to collaborating. Did you want to add anything to that, Simone?
Yeah, I think, part of that is, realizing, number one, safety. Sometimes we're in a group where you don't feel safe enough to say, hey, this isn't my strength, because you don't want to look weak on the job, or to admit that you don't know something, right? Or that you need a stronger skill or a little bit more help. So, trying to set some rules in the beginning about, agreeing to, support each other in the effort and toward the goal is so important. So it can be safe enough for somebody who might be struggling or think they have it, and then realize down the line that they don't, to be able to come back and reevaluate and realistically, set new goals. So so just kind of, that safety part is really important. And I think often young people, don't always ask for help, or they think they should know something right away that they may not have that skill to do yet. So in that collaboration process, being able to be safe enough to ask for help is a skill.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that input. Any questions on collaborating? Just yes or no, real quick. Do you feel like you've done collaborating up to this point in your life? That's a simple yes or no question.
Has anybody had an experience where a collaboration went really well, or an experience where a collaboration was just really a struggle? I've had some people, for instance, in school, some students in school who said they had to do collaborations virtually, and it was just really a struggle compared to how they might collaborate, person to person, one-on-one.
So we have two people who said that one, Stavina says she has collaborated and Lindsay says she has not.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So some phrases we might use while we're collaborating is that we've agreed, the team has chosen, we can, and working together, we did this. So just some spoken phrases that people are using when collaborating. Okay. Oops. Sorry. All right. So negotiating involves people in a disagreement working together to come to an agreement so that everyone feels their respective interests are satisfied, known as a win-win situation. And negotiating doesn't always mean you're going to lose out, right? So the whole idea of negotiating, especially on the job, and if a team is working together, we're negotiating to make sure we're all reaching this common end. And so we want to agree that the solution will be fair and realistic for all people concerned. Identify the common ground that we might have. We all want this event to come out successfully. I just use that because on my job, we all have individual jobs. And most of the time when we come together, it's about an event. And everyone wants the event to come out well, right? We want our best foot forward. We want the people who come to the event to walk away with a really good experience, get their own aha moment, and and feel good when they leave our event. So identify common ground. And when you're in a negotiation, it doesn't feel like in your mind that this is getting there. Just identify that to yourself and maybe even to the team. Just let's identify our common ground. It kind of pulls everybody back into, oh yeah, this is why we're here. Resolve disputes by bargaining, reach an agreement, and specify the details, and then verify that the agreement satisfies each person's interests. Spoken phrases for negotiating. I hear what you're saying, and I think. I understand your point of view and would like to suggest. How about we do this or that? Or how about thinking of it this way? And then what do you suggest? Can we agree on that point? I'm willing to do this if you can do that. So some spoken phrases for negotiating. Do you want to add to that, Simone?
Yeah, I think sometimes, so what's the opposite of win-win situation? Lose-lose, right? Or a win-lose, where one person's winning and other people are like really losing out, or a lose-win. And so when you're trying to renegotiate, understanding where it's kind of going wrong, like, hey, this feels like a lose-lose for everybody, and we're not moving toward our goal, or it feels like a win-lose, like, somebody's winning here, but a lot of people are losing, right? And so that helps you kind of renegotiate where you want to get when you realize the other three possible outcomes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so the other thing is compromising. So involves settling a difference so that each person gives up something in order to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. So it doesn't have to be a bad word, right? I'm always the one compromising something. It doesn't have to be that way, that each person can give up something and then come together for an agreement, right? So again, state the end target. Why are we here? What's our common ground? What is it that we're trying to accomplish? Identify everyone's needs in this particular situation. Have each person suggest what he or she is willing to give up to achieve the goal. So one of the things might be, I will come in early because, like Lindsay said, that's where my energy is. And okay, cool. I'll come in at the late night shift because I'm a late night person. So we're just identifying our needs and then coming together to achieve a goal, and then repeat until agreement is reached.
Yeah, I think this is, so important, Rhonda, because people assume first of all, with any successful relationship, you're going to have conflict and the need to learn how to compromise. So that you have conflict is not a horrible thing. It's just part of human relationships. So I think learning these kind of skills and these kind of phrases and practicing it and not being so discouraged when conflict shows up because it's inevitable. So
it is. Thank you, Simone. I do appreciate that.
Like, yeah, hey, if I agree to give up this, what can you offer? That's a good one.
Oh, yeah, that is a good one. Thank you.
What would be an acceptable solution?
Yes, for all people. And repeat as necessary, right? So if you're walking away and you feel like you've lost more or you gave more, then the process isn't really over. So don't be afraid to come back and say, I just want to renegotiate some things. Can we talk about this particular piece of the pie again? Yeah. And just do that until you feel like you can work together again towards the common goal. So here are some spoken phrases for compromising. So I can give up this. What can you offer? I can live with this. I don't have to have this, but I do need that, right? So I don't have to be the front person, but I do need to be there the day of the event, and I will, be behind the table giving out goodies. And again, I'm just thinking about events that we have at work. I think in all three of these things, something that I've noticed is that we're all working towards an end goal, right? It's a common goal. Like this workforce development is a common goal. Kay and Jesse work for the grants department. Simone and I work for youth and family services. But we have a common goal here, and our goal is to bring you a service, the consumer of workforce development. A larger goal for all of us is that we really want you to succeed, young people. I've been working with young people all of my career, and I think that if I can help you be a little bit better than you were yesterday in your skills, then I've helped build a better community overall. So for me, that's the really big picture, is that I do want to live in a safe community for all people. And that's the bigger picture for me. So if I can, that's one of my common grounds to come and do workforce development. So always come with your end in mind. What am I here to accomplish? And I don't care how small or how big it is. I started in food service, and I still got to the place where when people came into my establishment, I wanted them to have a good experience, good food, good experience. And Lord, don't walk out of there and get sick, because for food service, that's like the nightmare. And food service is hard because there's that saying, you're only as good as your last meal. And it's true, right? Because as soon as you're done with lunch, you're already thinking about dinner. So nobody really even remembers I cooked a really good lunch. Okay. So always, though, that my point is keep the end in mind. Here are some ways to improve on some of these skills. Self-help books, a podcast, videos. You can Google some of this and watch YouTube. Talk to someone you trust. Engage with a mentor. Those are really good ways to get feedback. I love working with our interns. The interns are the best. Like, they're there to learn, how can I be the therapist that Simone is? That's their goal. Like that's the gold standard in therapy. And so I like working with them because they ask for feedback and then they take it and because they're there to get better. So engage with a mentor, even at work. If you see someone doing something, you really like what they're doing, engage with that person. Don't be afraid, because if they're there, if they're a good mentor and they're worth their salt, they will happily help you be a better person. So less, what is that? When two teams are, so it's less about someone, winning.
Rivalry?
Right. Yes. So it's less about a rival and more about just working together on the same team to go to the same place. You can work with a therapist. So that makes me think about what you were talking about, Simone, about how we've done all of these things, right? Collaborate, negotiate, and compromise in our family unit. And you talked about that earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Where does this start? It starts in your family unit. It's nowhere like, a sibling group, whoever your siblings are. From the beginning. You're compromising and negotiating and collaborating. You learn that in your family of origin. And then you come out, into the world, whether it be your school life, education, and on into the job world. And it's so important in our community to have good collaborators, negotiators, compromisers. And, we all grow, Rhonda. I think you're absolutely right. No matter where you are in your journey, we're, trying to grow and be a little bit better as human beings so we can leave the planet better for the next generation and the next.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we began this conversation, I asked you guys if you have ever done this. And I think somebody said no, but that's where Simone and I are disagreeing with you, because you have done each and every one of these things. If you have siblings, you've definitely done these things. I have 3 sisters, and this didn't always look pretty at home. But so you've done those, right? With your family of origin, you go to school, you have to work together on in one project. What's more frustrating than that? I don't know. So you have done some of these things in some form.
If you've ever played in sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's somewhere where you learn those basic skills.
Yeah. So, and we talked about important elements to remember: trust, honesty, respect, accountability, and safety. And the best place to start with those skills is yourself. And I don't think that I would not find you trustworthy if you didn't trust yourself. It shows, right? So just learn yourself, and I'm honest with other people, and I expect them to be honest with me. And if I feel like I'm being deceived or lied to, I just speak up. I say, I don't lie. I feel like you're not being completely honest with me. Let's talk about that. I show people respect. I treat them with respect, and I expect to be treated the same way. So I don't mind foul language. That doesn't bother me. But I will not sit down at the table and cuss at you. So I don't expect you to do it to me. So that's what I mean. Just I treat you with respect, and I expect to be treated the same. And yeah, safety is a big one. Go ahead, Simone.
Yeah, so kind of knowing your own values and not being afraid to communicate those, or to hold them, hold other people accountable, and let them know this is something I value, especially in the workplace. Your reputation is so important. And good point.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Simone. Okay. That's it then. We are right on time.
Fine.
Any questions or comments? We really enjoyed being here with you guys for these past 4 weeks. Oh, job fair. I meant to put out another plug there. We have a job fair next Thursday night. You can email me if you need the link, or Simon at
Rhonda, you can just send me the link and I'll email it to everyone.
Okay, I will. I will do that.
So I'll check your emails, everyone. As
yeah,
I'm
gonna send you guys the link. I hope to see you at the job fair.
Thanks, Simone. Thanks, Rhonda.
Everybody's been great.
Questions or comments for them before they head out? Thank you guys for being responsive, audience. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Absolutely. Be well.
Okay, we are now going to take our 5-minute break. As always, we will reconvene at 7 p.m. And in the meantime, please get up, stretch, drink a glass of water, whatever you need to do. I'll give you guys a 1-minute warning, and then we will reconvene at 7 p.m. Thank you guys all for attending. Talk to you guys in a bit.
Hey, Kay. Kay.
Yes?
This is Simone. I'm having a trouble leaving the meeting for some reason.
That is weird. My Zoom cut out and then cut back in twice during you guys' presentation, so Zoom is having some issues today.
Yeah, I'm trying to end the meeting and it's not letting me out.
It could, you know why, Simone? I think it's because when Zoom kicked me, the recording got switched to your account because I can see the little cloud is on you. So you must have been designated as the host when my Zoom crashed.
Oh.
Do you think that you could just leave it running for an hour to finish the recording out and then end the meeting? Like,
no, because I have a 7 o'clock appointment.
Okay.
Wonder how that happened. That's so bizarre.
It's because I was the original host, but then my Zoom cut out, so it made you the host. I'm trying to see how I can make myself the host. No, that's not going to work. Hang on. I might need to call Anthony in on this one. Hopefully I don't.
Yeah, I have to go into a different program and I can't do both.
Yeah.
Let me see if you.
I'm going to log out and then log back in and see if that makes me the host again.
Okay.
I will. All right. Simone, can you see if you can leave the meeting now?
All right, I'll try. Nope, it says assign and leave. Let me do
Can
that.
you click on me and assign me as host if you have
There
that?
we go. I think I get it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. All right, everyone, after that brief interlude, it is now 7 o'clock. I apologize for not having the 1-minute warning for you guys. We had a little hiccup with Zoom. Oh, please don't be crashing again. Okay. There we go. Okay, Kim, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we are now going to reconvene, everyone. Thank you, everyone who came back for our 7 p.m. presentation on healthcare careers with Kim Rich. And I am now going to show you guys a brief introductory video by Dr. Trudy Hall, who works with the Bowie Health Center and the University Capital Region. So I will now play this video and make sure that I'm sharing my sound this time. Okay. All right, here's an introductory video about healthcare careers from Dr. Trudy Hall.
Hi, my name is Dr. Trudy Hall. I serve as Vice President and Deputy Chief Medical Officer for the University of Maryland Capital Region Health. I want to share a few words as you begin your journey in the workforce development and life skills training at the City of Bowie. As part of the University of Maryland Medical Systems, Cap Region Health supports career development as we have a strong interest in seeing people in our communities we serve. Think about your interests. Do you want to help people in the community? A job in healthcare is a rewarding choice. The pandemic has impacted Prince George's County disproportionately and minorities in particular. This past year has shown us that there's a great need for people to go into fields of healthcare, technology, and research science. The opportunities are endless. For every patient who comes into our care, there's a multiple of individuals who are part of their experience. Think about it. We have therapists, radiation technologists, engineers, nurse technicians, case managers, human resources, information technology, as well as multiple of other careers that help to take care of just one patient. Yes, there are infinite possibilities to explore, and you're taking the first steps to finding what you want to do with your life. As a resident of Prince George's County for the past 14 years, I know firsthand that the City of Bowie is an excellent place to live, learn, and work. Living in Bowie, I've had the opportunity to build and work with the Bowie Health Center as we provide care for our local community. As many of you are taking your professional journey, I hope that this program will give you the building blocks to support your professional growth and development. Enjoy, take a buckle for the ride, learn, grow, and progress. Hi.
All right, I'm going to turn it over now to Kim, and she will be presenting this evening on healthcare careers. So thanks very much, Kim.
All right. Hello, everyone. All right. I am going to share my screen. 1 second. Let me hit share, and then I'll introduce myself. Along with myself, it will be Pamela Tosin that will be presenting. So 1 second. Share. Okay, can you see my screen? And I'll put it on slideshow. Okay, is that great?
Yes, we can see your presentation. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. All right, so hello everyone. My name is Kim Rich. I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse now for 35 plus years. My practice when I first started was in OBGYN, the nursery, and also GYN oncology. I started in the hospital and then I changed and I started working in ambulatory care. And along with that, I am a entrepreneur, Pamela and myself.
Can you mute yourself, please? We're getting a little feedback, I think.
Yep. Okay. Yes, Pamela and myself, we have a healthcare consulting business where we do blood pressure, glucose, and cholesterol screenings, along with health education. All right, now I'll let Pam introduce herself and then we'll move forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pamela Tolson, and I am also a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 18 years, but I've been in the healthcare for 30 years. And as like Kim said, we've been in nursing in all capacities, because I actually started as a medical assistant, and I worked my way up from a medical assistant to a nurse to a charge nurse to an assistant nurse manager, and I'm currently so that's what I do.
All right, thank you, Pam. All right, so we're gonna get started with the presentation afterwards. I'm hoping we'll be able to have some time towards the end. We're gonna do a Jeopardy game. I believe it's 5 of you all on this here with the presentation today, which is great. What we'll do is put you in teams, probably just 2 teams. So one team will have 3 people and one team will have 2. And then we're gonna have fun with it. And you know, we have questions, and it's just like Jeopardy. And so we'll do that towards the end, at the end. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so why a career in healthcare? Let me minimize this. Okay, the Bureau of Labor Statistics expects healthcare to be the fastest growing employment industry between 2014 and 2024. This projection is good news for you, as it means increased job security, which is of great importance, as more and more fulfilling lucrative positions are being created for people driven to make a difference in their communities. Now, what I did not mention, though, as I'm talking, that we will give you hints in between. I mentioned Jeopardy, and all the answers to Jeopardy is right here in front of you. Okay, so we're going to go over everything. Reasons to pursue a health career. There's several reasons to pursue it. One is job security. The healthcare field is growing rapidly. And as everyone knows, with this pandemic, I know you've seen on the news where they need healthcare professionals to do various things, do the vaccines, and also take care of the patients that are sick with COVID. And also-
Pam, can you keep yourself muted, please? We're getting some feedback from audio. Thanks.
And also with screenings as well. So, so job security is one of the first reasons to pursue a health career. The second reason is it's an opportunity to work in a job that interests you. A career in healthcare can lead in many directions. As myself, I stayed in nursing, but I took different routes within my career. I started off as a working in the hospital as a regular nurse to work on the floor, and then I became a lead nurse. Then I stopped going to hospital care and I went into ambulatory care. And from there, I was a lead nurse, and then moved up to management. And then with that, I still wanted more with nursing. So I don't know if you're familiar with nursing informatics, but it is a combination of healthcare and also technology, and then combine that together. So that's why when you think about when you go to the doctor's office, you see them charting now, really not much on with paper charts, is electronic medical records now. So I help do with that, but it's still within healthcare. You can live and work anywhere you want. And again, with the pandemic, and you will hear us talk about the pandemic off and on, but with that, they needed so many healthcare workers, and nurses I know in New York were being paid a lot of money back in the beginning of the pandemic when they needed nurses to work in the hospitals. Some nurses, and this is the truth, were getting paid $8,000 a week to work in those hospitals. Another reason to pursue a health career is you can find a health career that fits your educational plans. There are health careers that require 8 years, 10, 13 years of specialized education after high school. And there are also health careers you can train for 18 to 24 months at your local community college. We are going to go over, of course, the different health careers. And again, with Jeopardy, listen. If you have any questions, let us know, because we're going to definitely ask you questions about the health careers, around education and how much money they make, things like that will be all in Jeopardy. And also another reason to pursue a health career is you can get help to pay for school. There's hundreds of scholarships, financial aid, grants, student loans. Once you get in healthcare as well, the employer will pay you to go to college. Some of them will, tuition reimbursement. I actually did that. I started off in nursing. I had a diploma in nursing. I still was a registered nurse. I went back to school and got my bachelor's degree in nursing. My job, I was working at the Washington Hospital Center then, and they paid for that for me to go back to school. And then I wanted more, and I went back to school again, and I got a master's degree in information management, which is part of what I mentioned as nursing informatics. So again, you can get help to go to school right out of high school and with a job as well. You can get help to go to school. You earn a good salary. Healthcare workers make good money. The average entry-level health worker earns from $15 to $50 per hour, and that says average. Okay, the more experience and training you get in your field, the more money you can make. And you can make a difference in people's lives. And this to me is the most important. This is the biggest benefit of being a healthcare professional, is that you will make a difference in people's lives. You know, you're helping people, whether you work as a nurse's aide, as a health service administrator, veterinarian, whatever, to name just a few careers, you will be helping to make our world a little healthier, a little safer, and a little better. I'm gonna start off with what is a medical assistant. Again, think about Jeopardy. We're gonna ask these questions. A medical assistant completes administrative tasks. They work in a doctor's office or hospital, and it does require training to be a medical assistant. Educational pathways. On-the-job training, you can do that without certification, and we're gonna go over the pros and cons of that. A diploma you can get, which is completion within 12 to 20 months to get your diploma. Associate degree, completion with 16 to 24 months. Both degrees prepare you for certification exams issued through the American Medical Technologies Association, and also Certified Medical Administrative Assistant exam is the medical assistant school you can do. So there are different educational pathways you can take to get a certificate in this field. Career outlook for medical assistants. Medical assistants are in the midst of a major employment growth. Projections show that medical assistants, and that's Bureau of Labor Statistics, projects that show that medical assistants jobs should increase by 29% from 2016 to 2026. A rising Asian population will create a need for more care. Healthcare facilities will need additional medical assistants in order to care for the increase in patients. Now, again, back to COVID, you know, with the pandemic, they needed so many healthcare professionals. I mean, medical assistants, they have taught, I know where I work now, to give the COVID vaccine. So different things medical assistants now are allowed to do, but you will have to have that training. So really the need has increased even more. Okay, this is the median pay, which is right in the middle. For 2019, it's $34,800 per year, which is average around $1,476. So that's about medical assistants. So I talked about medical assistants. Now let's talk about medical assistants without certification. You can get that. A certification as a medical assistant is not required, but most places they do want it, which could potentially make this career choice optimal for those who aren't interested in more medical assistant schooling. There are a few things to think about though. If you consider not obtaining a medical assistant certification, such as the following requirement, you would definitely need at least a high school diploma or GED. The pros, you can potentially find a job quickly without a few years of school. You will be trained on the job, so you are paid to learn. But the con is it is more difficult to find a job without a certification, and you're generally are paid likely to, your pay is likely to be less. So if you have interest, my recommendation is seek this certification piece, because if you think about it, if I'm applying for a job with a medical assistant certification and Pam is applying for one at the same time without, who do you think they're going to hire? That more than likely they will hire me who have that certification. All right, now we're going to go to what is a physician, and Pam is going to take over from here.
Before I go into the physician, I wanted to mention something on the medical assistant. So I was a medical assistant, and I had the on-the-job training, and I did get a certificate. This was my second degree. So when I went to nursing school, this information and all of the education that I got during my medical assistant, it came in handy when I was going to nursing school. So I wasn't like a lot of the things that you experience as a nurse and as a group, you have to either you are you know about it, or you have to really, really, dig down deep and learn about it. But because I was a medical assistant, the things that the nurses brought to our attention, especially on a pediatrics unit when I went to Children's Hospital, I was already familiar with it because I was already a medical assistant. So I wanted to mention that. Okay, so what is a physician? Physicians treat and diagnose patients. Many of them work in hospitals, but they may also operate their own private offices. Physicians can work in many specialties, including pediatrics, family care, oncology, and intensive care. Educational pathways for a physician. They attend college, they earn a bachelor's degree, which takes approximately 4 years of college. They take the medical college admissions test, MCAT. They attend medical school. They earn a medical doctorate degree. Educational generally lasts for 4 years. They complete a residency program, depending on the specialty area that they choose. A residency can last anywhere from 3 to 7 years. Most residents usually complete their programs in the hospital. That's where they get a lot of their training from. They obtain licensure. All states require physicians to become licensed before allowing them to practice medicine. They get certified in their advanced career. Certification is not required, but it may increase employment opportunities. A special designation can demonstrate that the doctor is an expert in a specific area of medicine. For example, certification by the American Board of Medical Specialties, ABMS.
Okay, one thing I'm going to mention here, I mentioned about the Jeopardy. So remember, a physician earns a medical degree, a doctorate, and they have to take the MCAT. That's what a physician does.
Hey, Pam, when you're not talking, can you mute yourself? For some reason, we get feedback through your speakers. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to read this next part though.
Mm-hmm.
Career outlook for physicians. Overall employment of physicians and surgeons are projected to grow 13% from 2016 to 2026, faster than the average for all occupations. Job growth is projected due to increased demand and healthcare services by the growing and aging population, which is really becoming overwhelming now, the aging population. This prior to the pandemic, the physician salaries in 2020 continued to grow. Primary care physicians reported earning an average salary of $243,000 compared to $237,000 in 2019, while specialties earned an average of $346,000 compared to the $301 in 2019.
All right. What is a registered nurse? A registered nurse may perform a variety of duties, provide direct patient care. They conduct physical exams to assess patient health needs and problems. They administer direct care to injured, disabled, ill, or convalescent patients. They review and maintain medical records, implement and develop nursing care plans, supervise the work of licensed practical nurses, nurses' aides, and assistants. They educate patients about their medical conditions and treatment plans, and they assist and collaborate with physicians regarding the plan of care and patients' well-being. Now we're going to talk about the educational pathways for a registered nurse. Okay, a registered nurse have to complete an accredited registered nurse program. You can get a bachelor's degree, which is a 4-year program. Associate degree is a 2-year program. And we also mentioned the diploma program, which is 1 to 3-year program, depending on the institution. Now, the diploma program really doesn't exist. I'm not aware of one in the area at all. I did get my nursing degree as a diploma. I started off, as I mentioned, as a registered nurse, but I went to Alexandria Hospital School of Nursing, which is also closed, been closed for years. Washington Hospital Center had a diploma school as well. That's been closed for years. But I got that, and within 3 years, became a registered nurse. Then I knew in order for me to expand in my career, to do more as a registered nurse, I had to get a higher degree. So when I say that, like if you want to go into management or even being a lead nurse and even applying for jobs, they would take a diploma, a bachelor's degree nurse over a diploma nurse. So I knew that. I went back to school. As I mentioned, while I was working, I had my the job that I was working at, they didn't pay all of it, but they helped with tuition reimbursement. And then I went and got a bachelor's degree. And then, as I mentioned again, I furthered my education and got a master's. As a registered nurse, you also have to take and pass the NCLEX RN exam to obtain a state licensure. You can pursue additional training or education. You can go even further after you get your bachelor's. You become a certified nurse specialist, nurse anesthetist, also a nurse practitioner, or a nurse midwife. Those who want to go further might choose to either enter a doctoral program as well. I have a few friends that did that as well, had their doctorate in nursing. So you can go as far as that. All right, career outlooks for nurses. From 2016 to 2026, registered nurses are expected to see a 15% increase in employment, according to the BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics. Since nurses are a vital part of most healthcare organizations, the need for this position will likely continue to increase over time. And that is so true. I mean, you can always find a nursing job somewhere. You really, really can. The median salary for a nurse is $73,300. Of course, and again, that's median. The median annual wage for registered nurses was $73,300, as I mentioned, in May of 2019. The median range is a wage at which half the workers in an occupation earn more than that amount and half less. The lowest 10% earn less than $52,000, and the highest 10% earn more than $111,000. And as I mentioned before, when we presented this before, it says more than $111,000. That's so true. I do know some nurses that make almost $200,000 a year. All right. Pam.
What is a dental hygienist? Dental hygienists are oral health professionals who are responsible for preventing and treating oral diseases. A dental hygienist works in a dentist's office, cleaning patients' teeth before, during, and after a dental procedure. Dental hygienists work side by side with dentists, orthodontists, and other dental professionals. Educational pathways. The minimum level of education degree for a dental hygienist, the minimum level of the education degree for dental hygienist is an associate's degree.
Pam, we have some feedback from the participants. They'd like you to slow down a little bit.
Okay.
They're taking notes on this section.
Okay, I'll start over then. The minimum level of education degree for a dental hygienist is an associate's degree, though bachelor's and master's degrees are also options. Associate degree, which is a 2-year program, associate's degree provide you with a necessary level of education that's required for licensing. Bachelor's degrees, 4 years, a 4-year program, designated for dental hygienists who are interested in more specialized care, like practicing or developing programs within the public health or school settings. Master's degree, which is approximately 1 to 2 years in the program, allows you to teach, conduct research, or work at an administrative level.
Okay.
Just a note to everyone, the presentation and a recording of this session will be available on the program website, so you can always check back there if you missed anything during this presentation.
All right, thank you.
Career outlook for the dental hygienist. Employment of dental hygienists is projected to grow from 2016 to 2026, much faster than the average of all occupations. The demand for the dental services will increase as the population ages and as research continues to link oral and to overall health. That's probably a good quote to make now of the pandemic, because people weren't able to get out a lot and they canceled appointments or they had no shows. So that's a good point. The median annual wage for dental hygienists was $76,220 in May of 2019. The median wage is the wage at which half of the workers in an occupation earned more than that amount and half earned less. The lowest 10% earned less than $53,130, and the highest 10% earned more than $103,340.
All right, now we're on physical therapists. Physical therapists help patients recover from illnesses or injuries. Physical therapists use their hands and special equipment to work out different muscles in a patient's body and build strength. A physical therapist may help an athlete recover for a game or a car accident victim regain the ability to walk. Most of these professionals work in physical therapy clinics or rehabilitation centers. And we will ask you, what is a physical therapist? During the Jeopardy game. All right, there are different educational pathways. There's two options. You can either get a bachelor's degree, and let me explain that. That will ensure you have the prerequisites for this program. You can take the GRE. The GRE is a common standardized test that's used to measure a student's ability to succeed in a graduate level degree program. Another option is a freshman and undergraduate. So how does that work? You can take specific prerequisite classes such as anatomy and physiology, biology, chemistry, and physics, and you can apply to the program that accepts freshmen. So that's another way you can do it. You can earn the degree, but you also have to pass at the NPTE test, which is the National Physical Therapy Examination. That is needed to meet state's requirements to become a licensed physical therapist. The career outlook. Employment of physical therapists is projected to grow 28% from 2016 to 2026, again, much faster than the average for all occupations. The demand for physical therapy will come in part from the large number of aging baby boomers who are staying more active later in life than their counterparts of previous generations. The median pay, again, median is in between, is $89,440. And that is as of May of 2019. All right, so any questions?
Oh, one person has raised their hand. Lindsay, you can talk.
Hey, can you go back to the slide with the hygienists, please? Yeah, you go back, please.
I'm sorry, I was trying to take my self off of mute. Yes, no problem. So go back one more.
You were
Right
on
here?
there. You go, right there. Thank
Okay.
you. Let me just screenshot it.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
You have it? Oh, you're welcome. You are so welcome. All right. Any other questions?
And can you go back to the physical therapist, please?
That was afterwards. Yep, that was the last one I did. Yes.
Right here. Okay, I got a screenshot. Thank you.
You have it. You're welcome.
I do want to make sure that everyone, you can take advantage of this opportunity to just ask Kim and Pam about their own careers and the choices that they've made and the opportunities they've had. If you just want to learn a little bit about why they made the decisions they made professionally, this is a great opportunity. You've got a captive audience.
Yeah, we're here to answer any questions. If we don't know the answer, we'll definitely find it for you and let Kay know, and we can send an email or something. But yes, please ask any questions. As we waiting for questions, we're going to start the Jeopardy game. I have to stop sharing, and let me pull up the Jeopardy, and then I'll share again. Still think of any questions. Okie dokie. So I see we have 5 people. Okay, so we'll do groups of, as I mentioned, 2. So Lindsay, Anthony, and Sadie can be in one group, and Stephanie and Stevana can be on the second group. Okay, is that okay? Would that work?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna have group 1 and group 2, but let me find it. Where is it?
And as always, guys, you can either type your answers into the chat or you can raise your hands and we can unmute you. Either one, whatever you're comfortable with.
I don't know what happened. Oh, here it is. Okay, I was gonna get scared. Hold on, I have it. Okay, let me share first. And it's gonna be there. And I am going to share. All right, let me know when you can see it.
We can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you see the categories are up top. Oh, you know what? Let me go back. Hold on. We said 2 teams. So let me say 2 teams. I'm going to continue. All right. So we have team 1 and team 2. So, okay. So we have categories up top. Degrees. We all talked about the top 5 salaries. Career outlook for healthcare professionals. True and false. And I can't see what the last one is because this is in my way. 1 second. And who am I? All right. So you ready? We can start with team 1. You want to go first?
I'm team 1, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Just
I'm
pick
ready.
a category and a dollar amount.
Who am I for 300?
Okay, who am I for 300? All righty. I use my hands and special equipment to work out different muscles in a patient's body and build strength.
A physical therapist.
Yep, that's it. And we're going to see what that is. A physical therapist. Okay, so that's team 1, right? Let me know what team.
Yes.
300. All right. Anyone else want to go? You can just jump in, whoever, and just say.
Hang on, we have someone raising their hands.
Okay.
Hey, Stavina, you can talk.
Hey, who am I for, let's go for 400.
400. All right. I have a medical degree and can work in many specialties, including pediatrics, family care, oncology, and intensive care.
Is that a physician?
Yep, a physician. All right. What is a physician? What group are you?
Team 2.
Team 2. All right. Thank you. Very good. You want to go next?
This isn't super formal, so anyone wants to shout out, feel free.
Right, just shout. Right. Yep.
True or false for 400?
True. Okay. All states require physicians to become licensed or pass the MCAT before allowing them to practice medicine.
True.
True. Okay, what group?
1.
1, okay.
Oh, I was wrong.
I gave you the point too, didn't I?
Mhm.
How about that? Let me see. All physician. Oh, you know what? You're right. All states require physicians to become licensed or pass the MCAT, allowing them to practice medicine. That's true. What am I missing?
Okay, I was confused.
Yeah, that's wrong. I'm sorry. Because you have to take the MCAT. Yeah, you have to take the, I'm sorry, that's our fault. You have to take the MCAT before you can right. So let me give you that back. Okay. All right. Who's next?
Can I get who am I for 100?
Sure. Blank works side by side with orthodontists and other blank professionals. So who works with orthodontists? You know what an orthodontist is, right?
They work on your teeth.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And who do we talk about with teeth?
Was it the dental hygienist?
Yep. Work side by side with orthodontists and other.
Dental? Medical? Dental? I'm gonna go with dental.
There you go. Excellent. What group?
Group 2.
Which team? Okay, 2? Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. All right. Who's next?
Can somebody else go on my team?
Yeah, anyone who wants to raise their hand, you can type in the chat or raise your hand and I'll unmute you.
Yeah, just let me know which team.
Anthony raised his hand, so Anthony, you go.
Can we do true or false for 200?
Sure. It generally takes at least 8 years to obtain an associate's degree.
I'm gonna go with false.
Correct. Yeah, that's false. Which team?
Team 1.
Okay. All right, team 1 doing pretty good. Come on, team 2.
All right, Stephanie, you can unmute yourself and talk.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, degrees for 200.
All right, degrees. A RN can obtain a blank after completing a 4-year program.
After a 4-year program, is that a bachelor's degree?
Yes, yeah, that's it. A bachelor's degree. What is a bachelor's degree? Which team?
Team 2.
Okay. All right, good job.
Can we do top 5?
Go ahead.
Can we do top 5 salaries for 300?
For 300, sure. All right, based on the presented facts, I am listed as the 5th highest paid healthcare professionals. Who am I? So remember who we talked about? The physician, dental hygienist, physical therapist, nurse, medical assistant.
A nurse or a nurse?
The 5th highest. Okay, let's see. A medical assistant.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, which group was that? I'm sorry, I took it to, that was 200.
1.
Right? That was 1, okay. So that should be minus. I don't know if it's gonna do it. Took it too much. Okay, so I don't know if it's gonna let me go back, but you should have 700 on team 1. Let me write that down. I should have hit minus before, I'm sorry.
So the highest paying is, what was it again?
Physician is the highest.
So what was the question?
Hold on, let me see. Let's go back. Let's make sure we got it right.
No,
Oh, no,
top
no.
5 salary. 3. Oh, as the 5th highest. Okay, I messed up. Okay.
Okay, and that was 300. So, you know what? I wonder if it let me do it now. Let's see. Yep, it did. Okay. So the score is right now. Who's next?
Can I get true or false for 100, please?
Sure. The minimum level of education degree for dental hygienist is an associate degree. It says the minimum level. That's true or false?
I'm gonna say true.
Okay. True. And which team?
Team 2, please.
Okay. All righty.
Can we do true or false for 300?
Sure. A medical assistant may help an athlete recover from a game or a car accident victim regain the ability to walk. A medical assistant.
I think false.
Right. Yep. And which team are you?
Team 1.
Team 1. Okay, good. All righty.
Hey, this is Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie.
A career outlook for healthcare professionals for 300, please.
All righty. Overall employment of blank and surgeons is projected to grow 13% from 2016 to 2026, faster than the average for all occupations. The overall employment of blank and surgeons is projected to grow.
Was it the physical therapist?
Yes.
Oh,
okay. Position. And what team were you?
Team 2.
2, okay. Uh-oh, sorry, I did that wrong. Okay. And who's next? No, I should have minus that. There we go.
Anyone want to take your get any more questions? Oh, thanks, Lindsay.
True or false for 500?
Sure. Dental hygienists are oral health professionals who are responsible for preventing and treating skin disease.
False.
Yep. And which team?
1.
1, okay. All righty.
Can I get who am I for 500, please?
Yep. On-the-job training without certification. Diploma program, 12 to 20 months. Associate degree, 16 to 24 months. Both degrees can prepare me for certification exams. Who am I? Remember, it says without certification. We talked about one without. You want me to name the ones we talked about?
Yes, please.
Okay, registered nurse, physician, medical assistant, general hygienist, physical therapist.
I'm going to say registered nurse.
Without a certification? Okay. Medical assistant.
Medical assistant, yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. Which team?
Team 2, please.
Okay. And that's another
It's minus, yep.
Minus, yep. All righty.
All right, guys, I think we're going to do 2 more questions and then we'll wrap up for the evening. So who wants to do the final 2 questions?
And team 2, if you get, oh, they still want to do it. I was going to say, if you do 500, so you can catch up.
Can I do, let me see. What about top 5 salaries for 500?
Okay, there you go.
Why not?
All right. Your team can help you. Based on the presented facts, I am listed as the 2nd highest healthcare professional. The highest paid, I should say. The highest paid, the 2nd highest paid.
Let me see. We had dentist, we had physician's assistant,
We had registered nurses, physicians, physical therapists, dental hygienists, medical assistant.
I'm going to go with dentist. Physical therapist. No.
Which team are you?
Team 2, we're in the negative now.
Don't worry, I didn't know it either.
That's
That's
okay.
okay. This is all in the
okay.
service of learning, guys.
I know, right? That's okay. That was a good one. They kind of tricky.
Last question, everyone. Who wants
One
to
more.
finish strong with the last question?
Who am I for 200?
Who am I for 200? All righty. I review and maintain medical records, supervise the work of licensed healthcare professionals, educate patients about their medical conditions and treatment plans. Who am I?
A medical assistant.
Who are you talking to right now? What are Pam and I? We supervise the work.
Registered nurse.
That's it. All right, I'm gonna give you that one. Who was that? Which team?
1.
Team 1. Okay. Yeah. What is a registered nurse? All righty. Thank you all.
All right, guys. One last.
That was fun.
Any questions you have about them, their careers, the choices they made? Last chance to ask. I mean, not last chance. If you think of something later, email me and I'll make sure that it gets to them.
Yeah, make sure we get it. You all did a good job as well, too. Very good.
Thank you guys for participating with the Jeopardy game. Anthony says thank you to you guys.
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim and Pam.
You're welcome.
So now this concludes the City of Bowie Workforce Development Module 1, focusing on life skills and STEM careers. The next step, you guys will get an email from me with SurveyMonkey links so you can rate these sessions, and also the registration link for the next session, which will be in May. It will again be Thursday evenings. It'll be slightly shorter. May the 13th and the 20th, starting at 6 p.m. We will be covering entrepreneurship and innovation with Incubate. And you guys need to register online through the Zoom registration link that I'll send you. As always, any questions you have for me or our panelists or any of the presenters that you've heard from over the past month, you can email me and I will make sure it gets to them. And again, all of this information, all of the PowerPoints that were used, all of the recordings of all of the sessions, handouts, articles, all sorts of supplementary information will also be uploaded to the program website. So feel free to check back there as I get the sessions linked on YouTube. Any other questions for me before we conclude for the evening?
No.
All right. I want to thank everyone so much for being a wonderful audience. We really appreciate you guys participating and asking your questions. And we hope that you had, as Rhonda said, your aha moment at some point over the past 4 weeks. And you will hear from me again in email about the second module starting in May. And with that, I'm going to close the program out. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.